All right, I'm on hole number 5 of the Monster Marsh tournament. I'm in Tuesday's qualifying round in the rookie division, hole number 5. Hole number 5 is hole number 6. I think this is where I messed up yesterday. I was doing my practice rounds yesterday, and I had the hole. I just went to the next hole. Now this is the right one. I'm going to go out here to this area. I'm using a Titan. Now the wind here. So at the beginning of the week, if you watch my videos at the beginning of the week, we were talking about wind. So this is a short iron shot. This is a long iron shot. This is a wood shot. So short iron, wood, long iron. So some of this was dependent on which way the wind was blowing. So that when we get to the weekend round, if the wind was blowing this way, this might be the better shot, because when you take this shot coming in, you've got tailwind. If the wind was blowing this way, this would be the better shot because you've got wind going behind you. Now in rookie, like I said, it's not that big of a deal because we have lower winds, but if you're playing in expert or masters or in a higher division and you got a 20-mile-an-hour wind or a 15-mile-an-hour wind, this direction makes a huge difference. But the way the wind's blowing here is it's blowing diagonal. So if you're in this spot, you're getting a little bit of tailwind and a little teeny bit of push off to the right. If you're here, you're getting a little bit of tailwind with a little bit of push off. And so the wind is actually, it doesn't matter which side you go on, you're going to get a very similar wind. And so this short iron shot out here is definitely the better way to go, if you can get there from the upper divisions. Even trying to get out here from the upper divisions is tough, so I'm not sure if you can get out here. You may end up just laying up and getting your wood. And if that's the case, you've got almost a pure tailwind coming into the hole. So I'm going for the short iron shot. And there's a bunch of reasons why. If you're going for the short iron shot out here and you epic fail and you end up in the sand here, you can get on. If you end up in the rough, you can get on. If you end up overshooting and you're in the rough or sand, you can get on. You end up out here, you can get on. If you take this shot and you're out here in trouble, you can get on. If you take this shot and you're out here in trouble, you're SOL. Okay? If you do the layup and you overshoot and you're here, you're in trouble. So safety-wise, this is actually a safer shot. And it puts you in your short iron range. I mean, safer shot and you get in short iron range? I mean, I can't pass that up. I'm going to take my big bag and I'm going to take my Hornet. I'm going to take a Titan. And really you should bring a Kingmaker here, because on the second shot it'll help cut that wind down a little bit, but we've got lots of Titans, so I'm going to take my Titans. And so far this week it's been max overpower, max topspin. Getting over is not the problem, it's the trajectory on the other side. So you've got plenty of room out there, so give yourself lots of room to the left of that sand trap. You don't need to be right up against that sand trap. You want to make sure you can give yourself as much room so that if you had a 2-ring grate to the left or the right, you still got a decent shot of ending up in the fairway. Whereas if you go to the left and you hit a 1-ring or a 2-ring grate to the left, you could be in trouble depending on how you set the shot up. Let's see which way my opponent goes. I got an Apocalypse and a Marlin. Now if you're doing the layup shot and you've got an Apoc 3, you've got a quarterback, and a quarterback's a much better club for doing layup shots because it's much more accurate, better ball guide, and it'll help keep you out of the rough. Okay? You're married to your Apocalypse, dude. You're doing a layup shot and you brought an APOC. So you can give yourself plenty of room out here. Hitting it perfect. Just rolling it out there, trying to get in my short iron range. Maybe I can help this person out and get an Albie. This is a very albiable hole, especially if you're in short iron range. If they put the topspin on with the max, I don't even know that they need to overpower. If they put all that topspin on, if you're trying to blast through that, why wouldn't you put all of the topspin on? See if they can get through it. I think they're going to get caught up in that rough. There's minimum club. There's max. So there's mid. So we're about halfway in between. So I'm going to do a 1.5 per ring. So there's 3. So it's 2 2/3 rings. Need to hit it perfect. No, hit it great to the left. And it'll go great to the left. I'm not too, the deal is that I'm not too upset about that. I would love to get the Albi on that, but it's going to be one of those things where coming in, my whole goal is to always peak in the weekend round, and the last tournament we had, that's exactly what happened. I played kind of flat. I was just out practicing. I was just having a good time, just trying to get the shots dialed in, and I wasn't hitting a lot of perfect shots. And the weekend round came, and I caught on fire and started hitting stuff perfect. But because of all the notes that I had and all the practice, I knew where to set the ball up. Whereas if I hit perfect, it's going in the hole. And I finally got I peaked, and I peaked at the right time. So I'm never too upset when that stuff doesn't go in. The deal is the whole goal when you're shooting this is to shoot the -13 and give yourself an opportunity on every single hole, the perfect opportunity on every single hole to pick up that next shot. And your hope is that, you know, you don't peak in the opening round and then go flat in the weekend round. You want to peak in the weekend round and all that stuff finally go together. So I'm always happy when I just go out and I put myself in the perfect spot. That was the perfect spot, and that was exactly the shot that I'm looking for. I know that the ring adjustment there that I'm making is good. Good luck in the tournament. So just a note on that ring adjustment. So here's max club, here's minimum club, here's mid club. So with my Hornet, it's 1.1, 1.9, 2.0. And what that represents is this is the max number. It's 96% accurate, so this is the max number. This is 1.75 times that number, and this is 2 times that number. Okay, that's how I arrive at those. So sometimes you find yourself where you're in between. You're in between here, you're in between here. And if you do your max number and you're here, you're going to be off. If you do your mid number and you're here, you're going to be off. So I count this as 1.5, and I count, and this one here actually was 2.2. Excuse me, my bad. And I do this one here at roughly like 2.0, 2.1. It's going to be right in that neighborhood. So if I take the 1.1 and 1.9 and add those together and then take the average, that ends up with a 0.8 difference. And then I take half of the 0.8 divided by 2, that gives me 0.4, and I add 0.4 onto 1.1, and that gives me 1.5. So that's how I came up with those numbers. Sometimes this number is variable. You know, you find that you're doing the 1.5 and it's not quite working, and you can adjust it one way or the other. You can either go to 1.6 or 1.4, and you can work that number, because it always sucks when you're right in between clubs. And if you watch my videos on a regular basis, I'll switch balls, because maybe if I switch a ball, if I'm hitting with a 2 power ball, and if I hit with a 3 power ball, I can push that red line up, and now I'm dead center in mid club. Or maybe you're using a 2 power ball and you drop to a 1 power ball, and it pushes you back to max club. So you can adjust this red line with ball. But I'm already using a 3 power ball. and that's going to be the spot. So I played this hole in the past, and I know that right there I'm in between mid and max, so 1.5 is the number that I'm going to go with. So if you're on that hole and you're taking that shot and you're always just a little bit off, look at your win ring numbers. If you're using your max number, you're drawing out too much, and if you're using your mid number, you're not drawing out quite enough, so you'll have to work that number a little bit. All right, that was hole number 5 of the Monster Marsh tournament, and that is definitely an Albie hole, so we have a serious opportunity on that hole to pick up an Albie. And so hopefully as the week goes on, that's a hole that will start hitting perfect and start dropping those shots. All right, thanks for watching.